So I grew up in a Catholic home, but we didn't practice and we didn't go to church, only for special events. I was christened and I had a Holy Communion, but yeah, I didn't have a relationship with God. I also grew up in and out of hospital because I was born with epilepsy. By the grace of God, I grew out of it when I was 12, but that I really struggled with when I was younger because I was on a lot of medication, and yeah, it was just like a really scary for me and my family. I'd say I was a very independent child, but I was also very reckless and I was very rebellious. I decided to seek validation from the world, and I sought love from guys. That led me to being very hurt very quickly. I hung around a really bad crowd in school, and they introduced me to drugs, alcohol and smoking. And so when I was hurt by all the guys who I put my worth in, I would numb the pain that I felt with alcohol and drugs and smoking. And for a lot of years, I just went through this really toxic cycle of seeking validation from guys and people, you know, like friends, like fake friends and whatnot. And when they would hurt me, I would then numb the pain with my vices. And when I would numb the pain with the vices that I chose, it would temporarily help. But when I became sober, the vices that I used just led me deeper and deeper into the darkness. I was so deeply addicted and I was so deeply reliant on people validating me, and if they didn't validate me, then it just led me to like a state of depression. And there were many years where I had very dark thoughts. I felt like I was trapped by my mind. I couldn't control my thoughts and it was scary. There were a couple of times when I thought that I would take myself out. Every time I went to do something, and I'm not going to be graphic and I'm not going to be specific because you can use your own imagination, it would be stopped. I would get a phone call, or someone would knock on my door. I just remember every time I was in a situation, something would happen and I just wouldn't end up doing what I planned to do. And now looking back, I can see that it wasn't a coincidence that all those times I tried to take things into my own hands was stopped just by chance, because it wasn't. I know that there was divine intervention every single time. After years of this happening, I decided, like, this can't be it. This can't be my whole life. Like, surely there's got to be some goodness out there, because this can't be it. Like, the world is horrible. I need something that's not from this world. So I spent a year or so with crystals, using them, manifesting, going to events where people would do like rituals and stuff with crystals on me, and I went to have like readings done, and I would read witchy books, like about spell books and how to do all sort of witchcraft stuff. I was so broken. I just wanted to, I attached myself to anything that I thought would bring me out of the darkness. During my time practicing New Age, I'm going to say something and people will probably call me a liar because they will struggle to believe this, but the spiritual realm is so ridiculously real. Just because we can't visibly see the spiritual realm with the naked eye doesn't mean that it's not real. I would have visions and nightmares of demonic creatures, and even it got so bad and I was so fearful that even when I'd be like walking home from somewhere at work, or it would just have to be dark, like anywhere in the darkness. Like I thought I was going crazy. My mind was playing tricks on me, because I would see demonic creatures, things, like right in front of me. I would see faces, I would hear things. I was so sensitive to the spirit realm that genuinely scared the living daylights out of me. And I thought, do you know what? I need to stop with all this stuff. I thought this was helping me, but it's not. Manifesting, not. The crystals, no. I'm just having really bad dreams and my mind is playing tricks on me. I'm going crazy. I can't tell anyone. I feel like I just want to end it all. I gave up the new age stuff and I thought, let me try research some religions. There's got to be something out there. And it's good to know that half my family are born again Christians, and I've got a few pastors in the family. And I was so against going down that route. I mocked Christianity. I didn't want anything to do with Jesus or God. Like, I just thought they were all crazy. I decided to look into Buddhism, and I had decided, like, okay, cool, this religion, Buddhism, like, it's pretty chill. They're pretty wholesome. I like the idea of reincarnation and eventually reaching the nirvana. Let's do it. I've got nothing else to lose. And while I was getting into Buddhism, I did like an episode and I was like really scared of my health. So I decided to get an ECG scan, and because of my past with epilepsy, doctors allowed me to have a scan. And so I had this scan, didn't think anything of it. As soon as I had the scan, they rushed me to hospital. They weren't specific, but they said, we've found something on your brain. Just as a precaution, we need you to be admitted to hospital. My mind was like racing. As soon as I reached the hospital, they had me in, doing tests on me, and they put a cannula in. Someone from the Stroke Association come and speak to me, tell me what's good. I get an answer from one of the radiologists, I think it was, at the hospital. They told me that in multiple areas my brain has blotches. They believed, like they were convinced that it was strokes. So I was having like my brain was bleeding in different multiple areas of my head. Specifically, I had 2 past bleeds, 1 active bleed, and another one on the other side of my head. And I was so confused, because these people are telling me that I'm having like multiple strokes, that I've had multiple strokes. They're putting me on a stroke ward. They're prodding me. They're telling me like this, that, and the other. They're taking me to do scans. Like, they're being really serious about this. But I'm like, physically I'm fine. I've had no symptoms. Like, I don't know what's going on. And my family, bless them, my family who are born again Christians, they came over and they prayed for me. And I felt peace that I never felt before. I felt loved. I've never felt so loved like that my whole life. I knew, it's like sometimes I can just like talk about things and it not affect me, because I've just like, it's what I've lived. But it was so hard, and all of a sudden I just have this peace that surpassed all my understanding, and I knew I'd be okay. When I felt peace, I knew everything would be okay. For some reason, I didn't know. It's like I heard a voice. Now I know it was God telling me, like, it's gonna be okay. This isn't the end. I felt so safe. I felt so safe. On a stroke ward in the middle of the week, I had an encounter with Christ. I was involved with Buddhism. I was involved with New Age. I was in a worldly relationship. I was addicted to alcohol, drugs, and smoking, nicotine. And I had an encounter with Christ. I was so lost. I was so depressed. And the creator of the universe encountered me. On the 4th day, the doctors told me that there's nothing wrong with me. The doctors told me that I wasn't having strokes. I've never had a stroke. That the blotches on my brain was actually a calcium deficiency. I was like, wow. Like, I was really confused, and for a few months I was like battling with God, like, why did you do this? Why did you have to send me to hospital to reveal yourself to me? For some people, like myself, God has to scare you for you to realise that he's the only way and that he was there the whole time. After my time in hospital, I decided to give my life to Christ. I couldn't mistake what I saw, my encounter with him, as just like a delusion or like it didn't happen, because it was real. It was real and it was powerful, and he healed me. He brought me out of so much darkness. He gave me so much hope. He left the 99 to come to me, and nobody. So the least I can do is give my life to him. I wanted more of that hope. But at the time, I was in a worldly relationship and I was still putting my worth in a man that I thought loved me. Also, my immediate family didn't agree with my faith. They thought I was crazy. They still think I'm crazy. But at the time, I was so fearful of man, and I was so alone, and I was lost in, like, I just, in my worth, I put my worth in people, and I cared what they thought more than what God thought about me. So I decided to spend the next 2 years lukewarm, nitpicking the Bible, being biblically illiterate, going to church maybe once or twice a month. It wasn't until the end of 2024 when God gave me a really scary reality of, if I was to die today, I'd be going to hell because I'm on the fence. I'm living for the world, and secretly I love God. He told me that he died for me publicly, so I need to be bold and I need to live for him publicly. And it was hard, but that's when I had the fear of God. I knew that he is almighty. I knew that he reigns above all creation, so I should only fear him. I decided to keep myself accountable, so I joined a connect group at church. I started getting more involved in church, started going to church often, making friends at church. And it was December 2024 was the last time I done drugs, was the last time I drank alcohol, and I told my family that I was going to get baptized. I told everyone that I loved Jesus, and it was really scary, but it was necessary. It had to be done, and I'm so glad that I done it. And at the start of 2025, I decided, right, that's it. I'm going to surrender everything, and I'm going to like follow Jesus now. Like, I'm actually going to do this. I remember one night I was in prayer, and I was praying for my relationship, and he asked me what I wanted in a husband, and I was like, God, this is my husband, what do you mean? He was like, no, Ali, this isn't your husband. He told me to surrender, and he told me to give him a year of my life, and for me just to see what he can do. And I will always remember that night, because I was so broken. I was so on the fence of like, I want to pursue God so much, but I really want my relationship, and I really want like this, that and the other. If I didn't have the Holy Spirit within me, I wouldn't have surrendered anything. I know that for a fact, because my flesh was weak. One of the things that I loved so much was the business that I had just started. I spent a lot of time and money in investing in this business. One of the first things that God said to me was that I would speak for him, and that he wants me to surrender this business, and he wants me to speak online. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. No way. I've just spent like so much time and money in this, and it's just started. Like, I'm not going to give it up. I decided to just say yes and do it anyway, despite how I felt. Decided to just put God first, and I decided to listen to him, even if it didn't make any sense at the time. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to trust God, because he's redeemed me, he's delivered me, he's brought me out from the darkness. And the obedience that I have now is birthed from all the rebellion I done last year, all the no's I said to God. I decided to start creating faith-based content online, and as soon as I started creating content, all my clients left. They didn't know about my content, they didn't know that I was a Christian, they didn't know anything, but all of a sudden they just left. So I took that as a sign from the heavens. I can't tell you how freeing it is to be in a relationship with Jesus, to know who he is. Nothing else in this world matters. Everything will pass. Everything you see, every physical thing, that you're, the great car that you have, the great job that you have, the home that you have, the people around you, everything's going to pass. Everything is temporary, but God is eternal. I want to encourage you, whoever's watching this, that God is real. You will never be perfect, but God doesn't ask you to be perfect. He just asks you to be willing and to give him your heart. Jesus died on a cross for you. He was whipped for you. He was tortured for you. He lived a perfect life so that you could be free. And from someone who was totally against Christianity, from someone who was literally seeking other religions, when I had this massive encounter with Christ where he saved my life, please, I'm telling you, like, God is so real, and he's so ready to save you. He's so ready to help you. You just need to be willing. God bless you all.